I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about the dream come true.
Yes.
So what are we talking about with the dream come true, Margaret?
What I'm going to present is a dialogue that was in a How to Help You Do Emotionally Focused Therapy book. And the reason I'm presenting it to you is that I think this is the ultimate of what we're all looking for. This would be the perfect example of an adult coming home to a good, solid, adult, secure base. And I started with the experts tell us that partners need to be able to share their thoughts, feelings, emotions, opinions, values, needs, frustrations, and joys. Because we've been talking about communication and saying how nobody tells us exactly what we're supposed to talk about. Here at least is a list. That sounds like a lot of stuff. We better get started right away. Do you have the list with you so we can straighten all this out?
It's in my other film studio.
Okay, yeah. All right. So here's an example of a couple. They have been in therapy, I must tell you, for a little while. And the wife comes home after having a bad day at the office.
Okay.
Tom heard tension in Laurie's voice when she was recounting her workday. Tom responded, "It sure sounds like you had a tough day. Do you want to talk about it?" He invited Laurie to share more about her day, but also picked up on her distress. Tom showed Laurie that he was aware and tuned in to her world.
And that's the first thing I was thinking is he's attuned to her.
Yes, he is. This made her feel comfortable and connected. Okay? In the past, Tom would have heard her distressed tone and assumed it was about him. Poor Tom.
Well, sounds like Tom has anxiety.
Yes, it does. Poor Tom. And he would have become guarded and quiet if she came in sounding distressed, assuming that it was his fault.
Yeah.
Which, of course, it wasn't.
Well, if Tom grew up in a home where
That's right.
his parents made it seem like everything was his fault,
Sure.
then he would assume that when somebody comes in upset, his wife or partner would do the same thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
In turn, Laurie would have provoked him with frustration over his lack of response to her. So you can already see them off to a fight. She comes home tense and things go downhill from there.
So, because he would shut down before,
Yep.
she takes it as maybe he doesn't care,
Right.
he's disinterested,
He's
when
not.
really he's just terrified that he's going to get blamed for something.
That's right. Exactly right. I'll read it one more time. In the past, Tom would have heard her distressed tone and assumed that it was about him. He would have become guarded and quiet. So here he is quiet. And Laurie would have provoked him with frustration over his lack of response.
Yeah.
So he's not asking her what's wrong. He's not doing anything. Today, Tom has more confidence that he and Laurie are on solid ground as a couple. As a result, he is more open to her. He can hear her frustration without reacting, and this helps Laurie to recover and respond more quickly to his care. Laurie told Tom about the horrible day she had at work. She explained how a business deal had fallen apart, and her boss took her team to task for the loss. "I know it wasn't my fault," she said, "but still I couldn't help feeling like I lost their confidence." Laurie shared with tears running down her face. Tom reached over to touch her shoulders, and Laurie leaned into his chest, finding comfort as he embraced her. His embrace was the reassurance she needed. In the past, Tom would have problem solved Lori's situation.
That's a big one guys do.
It's a big deal.
We hear something's wrong and we want to fix it.
We want to fix it right away.
That's what guys do. We want to fix it.
Yeah, exactly. When in fact, all you really need to do half the time is listen.
Yeah.
Which Tom had obviously learned. But we women do it too. You come to me with a problem, well, you could have done this and you can do that and that could happen and so on. Yeah. In the past...
So we need to reframe it for the... Listening is fixing it.
Yeah.
That's what... You don't actually have to.
Nobody ever got in trouble for listening.
Okay? You get in trouble for not listening,
That's exactly right. From the time we're kids, you're not listening to me.
What?
From the time we're kids. In the past, Tom would have problem solved Lori's situation and inadvertently dismissed her fears and feelings. Okay? This is how Tom tended to handle his own fears. So he thought he was helping Lori when he would try to help her response to the situation. Mm-hmm. Lori would reject Tom's advice, and rebuffed, Tom would react defensively by criticizing and then shutting her out.
You know, I think one of the things that I hear going on with when he handled it like that is somebody comes home with a problem and you think that your idea is going to be better than the one that they've been obsessing over all day long. Right?
Right.
Because it's like, all of a sudden, like you just assume that you're going to have this idea that's so brilliant and inspiring that it's going to be better than the one that they've problem solved all day. Right. They're looking at you like I didn't think of that already.
You arrogant jerk.
I already thought of that.
Yeah. Absolutely right.
Listening is fixing the problem.
Yep. This is how Tom tended to handle his own fears, so he thought he was helping Lori when he would try to help her respond to the situation. All right, she would reject his advice. Then he'd feel rebuffed and he'd react defensively, criticizing and then shutting her out. This time, Tom heard Lori's worries as her fear, and having faced their fears together, he knew she needed his reassurance more than his reasoning. Okay? So that's kind of to act with the heart rather than the brain, which was exactly what was needed here.
Yep.
Yeah. This is a common communication mistake we all make of trying to reason and fix when what we need to do is listen.
I think one of the things that would be helpful for people is to think about a situation where this happened with you.
That would be very helpful.
And what you did that was originally like Tom, and what you could do the next time it happens. So you are more secure like Tom has become.
Right. And of course, we're trained and used to tuning into people. That's what we do. Mm-hmm. But if you're in the business of selling nuts and bolts, that's not your first line of anything.
Sure.
Tom understood that Lori grew up with a critical father who was difficult to please. She was sensitive to criticism and could get triggered by others' disapproval. Tom also learned that his support and reassurance helped her the most. Initially, this was difficult for Tom because he had his own triggers about being good enough and struggled to give Lori what she needed because of his own fears. Understanding his own fears and hers helped him to respond magnificently well this time. I think so too. Yeah. And I added, wouldn't we all love to come home to this that's a true secure base where somebody has your back and somebody knows exactly what to do for you.
And being emotionally attuned to your partner.
Yeah.
And it's not easy because...
It sounds easy when you read it here, but it really isn't.
No, because if you're Tom and you had a bad day and you're tired and you're hungry and you're maybe not feeling well or maybe you're in some kind of physical pain, you're going to have a hard time being focused on that other person's needs because you're so overwhelmed by your own.
And if you have hungry children waiting for you when you come in, it's going to be hard. But you have later in the evening.
Yeah.
But I think we all try to fix it. I know I have done that numerous times. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When in fact all we need to do is listen and support.
Listening is fixing it.
Yeah, we have been trained to assess people's status quickly and so forth and so on. But like I say, if this is not what you do, it would be doubly hard. It's hard for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go back, think about your own life and situations where you can imagine, your partner coming home to you and you are automatically offering suggestions that, quite frankly, they've probably already thought of.
Yeah.
And imagine, how could I listen in this situation and be attuned to them next time they need me to be?
Right.
Because if they're upset, that's really more important than the problem.
Yeah.
Right?
It really is.
What they're going through and what
Yeah.
they're experiencing emotionally is far more important than whatever the problem was at work.
But the secure base that we're all looking for in adulthood is exactly this. So that we could come home to, if we were distressed, that kind of support and that kind of attunement. Okay,
Absolutely.
so remember what we're after. This is it.
That's it right there.
Yep.
So hopefully this helped you guys. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, just go to the website, askcraig.net, sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Margaret is also available for Skype coaching.
Sure, feel free to sign up with me. I'll be delighted to talk with you.
Just click on Margaret on the top of the website to do that. And remember, I have a bunch of episodes now being podcast on all the major podcast platforms. Just search for me and make sure you give us a nice review and download all the episodes so we stay extra motivated on that. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon.